Ukraine is a country in Europe. It exists next to another country called Russia.
I can imagine what can be and be unburdened by what has been.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I am Jerry Hicks, also known as the Dark Wolf.
And I am CD Spivey.
Also known as the Unburdened One.
She's losing.
She's losing so bad, dude.
Dude, I wanted to... Okay, polls are garbage. Polls are trash. They're bullshit. Don't listen to polls.
Nope. Unless they're good for Trump. I'm kidding.
But some of what they're trying to say is some of the early voting. I guess they're letting some stuff fly about early voting. And from what I'm hearing, all of the lines, the long lines, the turnout is not for her. And you know, people like the Tennessee Holler and some of these other idiot leftists on X, you know, the wall of dipshits that I run into every day. You know, I just drive straight head forward towards them, you know. It's almost like I got to go to the body shop every day for them. Because they
splat pretty well.
They just freaking... She's just gaslighting the shit out of us, and I'm just laughing at him, and I'm like, no, she's not winning.
It reminds me of 2016 all over again.
Yeah,
it really does. When they're trying their best to convince us Hillary's won, she's up 20 points, she's won.
It's 2020 2.0. 2016.
They're trying to.
2016 2.0.
They're trying to. However, the people are much smarter than they were in 2016, in my opinion.
I don't think they were dumb back then. I think legacy media had such a hold on people.
That's what I mean. They're smarter now. They're seeing through that hold. That they've gotten smarter to the game that's being played on them.
Absolutely. Yeah. But legacy media had such a hold on people because we didn't have X. We didn't have Rumble. We didn't have any of this. And Facebook back then was a war zone of idiots.
As well as Twitter.
Kind of like,
Twitter at the time.
What TikTok is now. It's like, every once in a while I'll post an advertisement of our show on TikTok, but when I go back on that thing, it is populated with dipshits.
Well, you know, that's why I gave up Twitter for a while.
Yeah.
Back in the old Twitter, not in the Elon days, but, you know, when Twitter was Twitter, it appeared that I was either arguing with the most stupid people that walked the earth or they were bots, which there isn't much difference between, so I just quit wasting my time.
I actually made a meme of Facebook, and it has like the B in the circle instead of the F, and it says bot farm.
You know what? Credit to where it's due. I think X has been shutting down a lot of bot farms lately. Looking at our numbers and the jumps they're making.
Oh, our followers took a massive dump. And I was like, wait a minute. All of the people that we normally would follow us are following us. Right. It's like, who dropped off? I'm not seeing a drop off of actual real people. At all. And I was like, I bet X did killed a bunch of bots. And that they were following us, and I can't kill them all, people.
Right.
There's too many. There's not enough hours in the day for me to go to delete, block.
Well, the one thing that makes
I got other shit to do.
The one thing that makes me know that it was definitely a bot farm is I had just looked at the numbers like minutes before. Yeah. And then it had the massive fall off, and I said, no, that's not organic, that's not natural, that's not people looking at our work going, no.
I mean, I was being a freaking asshole, and I was tagging Kamala Harris and the president, and I was tagging them in some of my really mean posts. Right. Like, hey, assholes, look at what you did to our country. And I would share something and I would at them. And right. I'm like, this is going to get me in some trouble.
Speaking of getting in trouble, it looks like McDonald's last week got themselves in trouble as we reported on Trump.
Not really.
No, not really.
Not really.
Trump actually did his McTrump Day where he worked for McDonald's.
Happy McTrump Day.
You know what? We need to make that. For real. We need to note that the day that
I can make a meme in 10 minutes.
Make a meme with the date that he did that, and let's make that Trump Day.
Yeah.
That needs to be a thing. You guys with me? Who's with me out there?
Happy McTrump Day. Woohoo.
We need to go around next year talking about it's McTrump Day.
A short little PSA, and I'm sorry to say this. McDonald's is not food. Okay.
No.
McDonald's was poison before Trump did this. So I have not eaten at a McDonald's for over a decade because McDonald's is not food.
So I think that's a great caveat because, as you know, I myself refuse to eat McDonald's. Anybody who knows me knows I constantly
deathly sick if I eat at McDonald's.
I'm constantly hating on McDonald's around people I know, whatnot, especially if I see them with it. Like, dude, I thought you said you're going to get food. What is this? But I'm not even kidding. But that's important because what we're about to go into.
Yeah. They are still a big part of our economy. There are people that eat there and can stomach it.
As people, well, I want to make this point.
They do generate revenue for the economy.
Yes, as people that absolutely cannot stand their business nor their product. For what we're about to say, this will make sense in a minute to the audience, of course. Yeah. But for what we're about to say, this is coming from somebody that we're not McDonald's eaters. We don't like them. We think they're absolute trash. That said, I don't believe that they're so bad that they mysteriously, all of a sudden, out of the blue, had an E. coli scare. I'm sorry. Even McDonald's, I won't give that to. No. It
was really convenient that it happened right after Trump did what he did. Just really convenient.
Because, Trump just being in a McDonald's just poisons the food across the country.
Yeah. And the thing is, they were only saying it was one burger. It was one kind of burger. And I was like, wait a minute. Aren't they use those patties for everything?
As a person that works in restaurant and has worked in restaurant for a very long time, I can tell you a couple things about the industry that aren't industry secrets. Like one, the McDonald's patties all come from the same factory, probably the same machine. They come from the same meat and the meat source. So whatever this bullshit is, the McDonald's is out here. Yeah, I got a little loud, didn't I? Sorry. The McDonald's is out here trying to say that, or whoever's trying to say McDonald's, it was just the Big Mac patty. I think it was just the big one. Their most expensive
quarter pounder. No, they're quarter pounder.
Oh, was it quarter pounder? I'm sorry, the second most expensive. Patty. It was just a quarter pounder patty. I'm sorry, the quarter pounder patty is made by the same company, same factory, same everything as the hamburger or the Big Mac.
About McDonald's, I was only employed with one for 3 days, and I never worked a minute. So I actually was hired and then never worked, and then they just never called me and said they never scheduled me. So I was like, I'm going somewhere else.
Is a restaurant going to source meat from different sources? Like McDonald's going to?
I worked at a Burger King 3 decades ago for 6 weeks, and I went straight back to farming because that shit sucked. I was like, I'd rather be on the farm.
I did work in McDonald's for a little while, very short time.
Yeah.
My girlfriend at the time had to have an emergency surgery. I had to be her caretaker, and they refused to acknowledge the doctor's note that said this man needs to take care of this person. They said, well, you've still got to be into work. You know what? I'll be here when I get here, and I went and picked up my last check.
Yeah. But anyway, not only that, you made the point before the show. They did the same playbook in the 80s to Jack in the Box.
Exactly. When I heard the E. coli, dude.
What stance did Jack in the Box take right before they kicked him in the nuts?
Right.
Poor Jack.
It makes you wonder, because I was a kid at the time, and we both were, right? And we heard about it. There was this big scare. This company had sick food, bad food, E. coli, E. coli, E. coli. Mm-hmm. That's a matter of fact, probably the first time I had an encounter with what that is. Tell you what,
Jack in the Box tacos are disgustingly delicious.
Okay? Right?
Disgustingly. They are one of the worst things you can ever eat, but I fucking love them.
I like Jack in the Box. I do. I like their food.
I don't mind them. They kind of suck, but I don't. I mean,
they're fast food, but they're actual food opposed to McDonald's. But yes, they use the same playbook. So as you pointed out, who did they go against? What did they say wrong politically back then that they came after them? Right? That they went had to control them for whatever reason. They almost destroyed the company.
Yeah.
Jack in the Box was almost no more.
And most of this was in the Pacific Northwest is where all of this actually happened. I think there was actually some other things like a sex scandal or an embezzlement or something like that in the company as well.
Yeah, there was a couple things happening.
There was some other things that were there too, but yeah, it was.
So we've seen them make this play before. Right? And I'm sure you can't go in and validate, right? Like, you can't go and grab their meat and talk about, I'm going to test it. They're going to let you do it or validate their story. So right now, all we have...
order their food and you go test it. And one thing... Remember some of the shit that people were doing with McDonald's food where they were taking a bag of McDonald's food and putting it in their car and just leaving it there for 2 weeks?
Right.
And when they open it, it's the same freaking burger and fries. There's no mold. Mold won't even grow on it. They're like, mold knows better.
Have you seen the movie Super Size Me?
I've seen parts of that.
The end of that movie, he does that experiment.
I took a nap.
If the experiment is to be believed, a couple months later, it looked like the day they bought it.
Yeah.
If it's to be believed. Now, you can do a lot with camera trickery, so I wasn't there.
Mold knows better.
Mold knows better. So, yeah, again, these are people that don't like McDonald's, but just the same, it's not right to come at them and attack them just because...
Not politically, only because... a political candidate decided to do something fun, and that is basically what he did. He was poking fun at Kamala,
right?
And then now it comes out on X here just a little while ago that they superimposed Kamala's young face on top of a McDonald's uniform.
Y'all need to stop this. Y'all need to quit this out here now. Y'all know better. That's just evil. That's just dirty. Quit trying to make it look like she accomplished anything.
Like, nice try, dumbass. we can see where it's cut off, you fucking moron.
Y'all ain't right. What's also not right is the violent threats that have been made against this McDonald's and the ones in this particular chain where he worked that day. The tolerant left.
There was violent threats about that McDonald's, and what ended up happening is now they've got to have armed guards inside and in the parking lot during working hours.
Funny, because I thought Republicans were the threat.
And I'm like, wait a minute, man, are they going to try to burn this fucking place down only for the simple fact that the president went there and played McDonald's worker for 15 minutes?
But remember, Republicans, they're the dangerous ones. They're the ones that burn, loot, murder, kill, all that. Republicans, remember that. They're the dangerous ones, not the intolerable left.
Yeah.
Which is why the voting is going to be absolute hilarity this coming.
Remember the androgynous girl in the street that, when they said Donald Trump is now the president of the United States. He was, ah! I'm like, I'm expecting a bunch more of that.
That's still one of my favorite memes ever. Like, that's the one meme you see that and you recognize immediately.
Poor chick got famous
for the wrong reason.
It is embarrassing, dude. Embarrassing.
But you got to admit, she is one of the most used memes of all time for anything that you cannot stand.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
but speaking of voting, though,
there's a lot going on. I mean, you've got the angry left attacking that, but you've got some people bucking back against the government now that have basically. The government has been weaponized against the people, and I do mean the people as in everyone who does not agree with the Democrat agenda.
Right. If you don't turn over and say, yes, sir, yes, ma'am, and do as they say, you are an enemy of their state.
You take a look. I was just talking to Trash Discourse. I'm sorry, Trash Discourse. I love you, man. You're awesome. On X, on one of his spaces today about this. And
shout out.
The Amish vote. The church was not approving the Amish to vote until the federal government weaponized the EPA and the USDA against them.
So you guys have heard these cases, I'm sure, where the milk or the meat or eggs that they're selling apparently without the right licenses and the right permissions of the government.
The Amish are supposed to be exempt from that. They are their own, kind of like an Indian reservation. It's like, hey, federal government, fuck off.
Right.
You know,
right.
Hey, get off the Cherokee Nation. Suck it. You know,
they have their religious exemption for the way they live. Right. That's what Amish are. Is a religious commune outside of the natural order of society.
Exactly. They now. There are states like Indiana and Ohio, and even there's parts of Tennessee
and Kentucky
that parts of Kentucky that do this. That they actually build sides of the road that are wider, so that their buggies can get down safely. And it's okay with me. I don't give a shit. Okay, it's awesome that you do that to keep the buggies safe, so that my semi truck doesn't drive over them in the middle of the night.
Right.
But the EPA and the USDA were attacking the EPA was attacking their streams and their ponds as being navigable waterways.
What?
Okay, you're not launching a boat on their freaking ponds. Okay, you're not doing it.
No.
Especially not a boat that would be registered and licensed. You know, if anything, you're getting a John boat.
They had to come up with some way to get at these folks.
Because, well, they don't use motor anyway.
Right.
But anyway.
Well, you can't tax them, you know? They got to find a way to tax the hell out of them one way or the other.
Yeah.
We'll get that in a little bit later.
But it's not only... I mean, they did this in Pennsylvania, but not only Pennsylvania is the Amish voting. In Indiana and Ohio, it's also happening.
Really?
I have a family member that... deals with the Amish, and he's talking about how they're being driven to the polls in Indiana.
I would argue that any Amish settlement across the country at this point would be having this happening.
It's going after them everywhere now.
We know in Tennessee that this is, we know that these guys down here, if they can, they are.
Yeah, in southern middle Tennessee, there's a large Amish population.
I know we used to drive to Michigan, me and the family, and right about midway through Kentucky, I want to say, and I can't remember what road this is on, but about I think you know what I'm talking about. The whole Amish community you drive through.
The Amish community, if you go, if you get off of I-65 and go east, they're freaking everywhere.
There's one of them, like the whole county's just everywhere. It's like the whole county.
Yeah, I know of whole counties that way. In Indiana, Ohio, Pennsylvania.
Well, there's one right in the middle of Kentucky. I know we used to drive through it. That's one reason that I know about them so well. There
are signs on major highways in Indiana that say buggies present, don't run them over.
Amish country, Amish area.
Slow moving vehicles, do not run them over. Horse drawn carriages, do not run them over. There are things like that. You're like, don't hit them, you know?
Right. Yeah, there's a couple of signs just as you cross the interstate over into Kentucky up there in Tennessee, right at the border. Yeah. Amish buggy signs. I know, I've seen them.
Yeah.
And like you said, Pennsylvania, but that may be in play, right?
Well, my question is New Jersey, Pennsylvania, or even New Mexico in play? And I'm going to say there are estimated that 180,000 Amish just in Pennsylvania have been driven to the polls.
Do you think just in that number alone would be enough to turn an election one way or the other?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Pennsylvania, that could flip Pennsylvania for us.
That would be amazing.
That would be enormous.
So, in my opinion,
we already have Indiana and Ohio.
Right.
They're going for
the silent majority is getting loud.
They are getting very loud.
And you've got people coming out now that, you know who else is coming out? The people who just wanted to be left alone.
Yes.
Are stepping up and saying, you know what? This is my last chance.
Those are the people that wanted to be left alone.
Those are some of the ones that want to be. Let me tell you, this election, if it gets rigged or stolen in any way, The people that wanted to be left alone will be the ones you'll answer to this time. And they are not the ones you want to answer to.
Remember my 26-state solution.
Yes.
And I believe it would be on the table.
At that point, yeah, it would have to be. Something would have to be, because this country would fracture instantly.
Yeah.
Instant.
I truly believe it would. And that 26-state solution is a nightmare. It would be the death of the country, but at the same time...
If they steal this election, it's the death of the country in any way you cut it.
There are a lot of rumors out there saying the Republicans are taking an early lead in states, including... Want to guess?
Let's see, what's the bluish or reddest state I can think? California? No? Let's see. Illinois. Illinois would be a good one.
There's a lot of casinos there, and it's the only place that brothels are legal.
California? Nevada.
Nevada. You can think about that. They flip Nevada, and they flip Pennsylvania.
That would be insane. That's huge. That'd be more than enough with what we already know he's going to get. The give-me's, if you will.
Here's another one for you.
We know Tennessee's going to go towards him without question.
Yeah, I mean, the county that we are in and Shelby County are basically the blueberries in the tomato soup here.
Is Shelby Memphis?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and not only that... There's a lot of Shelby County that's sick of that shit, too. And I'm talking about inner city Memphis. They are sick of the Democrats.
Let's say a lot of inner cities across the country, and I want to put that as lightly footed as I can. A lot of inner cities across the country have said enough is enough, because they're being displaced by the new group that's being brought in.
Yeah, this whole great replacement theory is not a theory anymore.
No, because it's not just the white people anymore that are saying this.
No,
at all.
No, it's all races now that are saying this.
They're realizing, hey, wait, they were right. They're trying to replace us. They're getting rid of us. They're trying to push us out of our own country.
The veteran. The American citizen, the patriot, they are all the past in this country to the Democrat Party. They are all the past. You can put that behind you. You know, that's not us anymore. The illegal alien is their future. And it's their only future. Because everybody that's in this country now has now seen their true colors.
Absolutely. And that's what they want. They've made no two ways about it. I would not put it past her to give amnesty to all the illegals the day before the election.
Here's another one for you. You would think that Islam in America, the reason why they would be here is to conquer.
Right.
Enslave or kill.
Right. That's the only ways they know.
That is their policy for invading a country. Well...
And we've talked a lot about on this channel about the Islams in America and how bad this could go, Sharia law being imposed, things like that.
Well, there's a lot of Muslims that are starting to come around to the American way of life. Mm-hmm. They're starting to see that what they have been told in their host countries is not the truth when they come here. Or
being told by the Democrat Party.
They're starting to see that the American way of life is beneficial. Sorry. Is beneficial, and they don't want to see it destroyed. So now we're seeing that a lot of Muslim leaders are starting to go the way of Trump.
What?
Including some of the Somalis in Walz's district.
Really? Wouldn't this be something if all or the majority of these people they brought in actually voted Trump when they did illegally vote?
Islam is kind of like the Latin culture, kind of. They are heavily family-oriented.
Right.
A mother, a father, and children.
The nuclear family.
Yes, the nuclear family. And that is not the Democrat policy.
The Democrats have done everything in my lifetime that they can think of to destroy the nuclear family. I've watched this across my lifetime.
We have to destroy the patriarchy, right?
Of course.
The patriarchy.
And look at all the TV shows we watched growing up. Have the dad acting like the buffoon, the fool, the matter of fact. That's one reason I loved Married with Children, because Al Bundy was the opposite of the guy portrayed on TV as the classic dad. Right? Al Bundy would say it and do it and screw you, let's rock, he was the man's man.
I'm thinking of another TV show from earlier days that had somebody like that basically wasn't putting up with the crap either. I'm trying to think of what it was like way back.
The Andy Griffith Show?
No, in the 60s. And the guy was really brash and oh man.
All in the Family.
There you go.
All in the Family. Yes. That was a great one. They couldn't make that show today.
No. Oh, no.
They could not make that. They couldn't make Blazing Saddles either.
Hollywood would lose their collective.
Oh my goodness. I'm surprised some of this stuff hasn't been canceled, if you will, given them time. So we've got Muslim leaders coming out. We've got the Amish. We've got groups voting now that we never had voting in this country.
CNN is admitting that Trump could make history by taking the popular vote. The popular vote. Republicans are not supposed to take the popular vote.
No, we're supposed to take the Electoral College.
Yes.
Because it's rigged in the other way.
Yeah. If he wins the popular vote, that is a referendum. That is basically a landslide. That is basically the people have spoken.
Yeah, that speaks volumes in and of itself to the government in charge.
Put down your fabricated ballots. Take the pallets and the suitcases of ballots, and just go ahead and burn them.
How ridiculous!
You're fucked.
How ridiculous do you think it would have to get before it's just no, this is clear cheating?
There'd be 150% of counties ballots voted. 150% of people in this county voted. Like what? What?
700% of America voted. I'm sorry, what? 700%? Did you read that right? I don't know. With the Madison Square Garden today,
Trump got 79 million votes, and Harris got 307 million. Wait a minute, what?
I thought 150 million died of COVID. Where'd they all come from? According to her, 300 million. Our whole country died of COVID, according to Kamala and Joe.
Somebody doesn't math very well.
Well, they're having problems mathing when they run out of ability to count people, like they did today in Madison Square Garden. As you guys know, growing up, Madison Square Garden was that one venue that all performers want. Why? Because it's one of the biggest venues in the country. It is the most well-known. It is gargantuan. It is New York, for heaven's sakes, right?
Oh, yeah.
So Madison Square Garden holds how many people?
19,500.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am here to report that New York police have reported that Madison Square Garden is at full capacity today for the Trump event. Not only is it at full capacity, ladies and gentlemen, what happened?
75,000 people estimated outside standing.
You could fill Madison Square Garden 3 more times with the amount of people that we have just outside the building.
Is New York in play?
How could it not be?
Yeah.
Holy shit. No, it's just a figment of your imagination. They're there to see Beyonce. Oh, wait, that one crashed, didn't it? That one failed. Did you hear about that?
Oh, they got pissed off because Beyonce didn't show.
No, the other day, I guess she actually came out and did a show for Kamala.
Yeah.
And, nobody was there. Basically, nobody was there. It was so small. It definitely didn't have 19,000 people plus another 75,000 people waiting outside for her.
Like Lizzo, you know. That Lizzo.
Yeah.
Lizzo.
What about her?
She was performing for Camel Toe.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I thought you were going somewhere else with that. I was like, well, what about Lizzo? Yeah.
The land whale.
I mean, she counts as like 5, right?
Shamu. Yeah. Oh.
So the other day, to round out this, and I don't even know a good transition, so I'm just going to jump on this one. One of my favorite podcasters, and apparently one of Trump's favorite podcasters, as he calls himself a student of this podcaster nonetheless.
Yeah, I watch him quite, a little bit. I listen to him. I'll listen to him running down the road in the truck. I won't watch it, but I'll listen to it. I hope that's what you guys are doing, with us is just listen.
God knows it ain't worth watching.
We are not pretty fucking people, man.
We're dumbasses with a microphone. The camera shows. Let me tell you. If you like what you see, get glasses.
Yes, an optometrist. Anyway, Joe Rogan had Trump on for 3 hours. They're talking about MMA.
Trump getting shot.
They admitted something about alien stories. They talked about the 2020 election, but they floated the idea of abolishing income taxes.
Now, I love this idea. I think this would be great. And I know every American out there would be 110% behind this idea.
Yeah. I would love it. We say taxation is theft, right?
And it is.
Taxation is theft. I would go one further as to say the 16th Amendment needs to be abolished. But there's only one way that happens, and that's 3/4 of the states and
there's 2 ways.
2/3 of the Senate.
There's 2 ways.
Or the House. I'm sorry, House.
So it would take either a congressional movement, which is the standard way of doing things,
or no, a convention of states
outside of the congressional. Yes, a convention of states outside of the congressional action is still allowed to do that.
Do you really think Congress is going to do that shit? No, there's too many pet projects.
Nope.
There's too. We are not going to get 3/4 of the states and 2/3 of the House
to abolish an income tax.
To abolish the 16th Amendment. It's not going to fucking happen. To do that, we're going to need a convention.
Have to. And there is one in the works, by the way.
But, we also need to bury in that bitch.
What's that? Term limits. Yep. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So Trump suggested with the movement of income tax to offset the cost, we would use tariffs, which tariffs were used originally in this country until 1913 with the Banking Acts and the Federal Reserve coming into play. That is how we were funded. And Trump even mentioned President McKinley, who was assassinated nonetheless, probably because he was the tariff king. That was how he funded everything, and the country was richer than rich at the time. But as much as I think this would be the perfect way to do it, it sounds golden. I think it'd be great. You disagree with this, right?
In a way, thinking about it, the trade deficit that we currently have, tariffs would work swimmingly. They would work great.
The best thing you ever seen. It'd be beautiful.
For a little while.
For a little while.
Because what would end up happening? What is a tariff, though? A tariff is an incentive to action. Mm-hmm. What is that action? To repatriate.
Right, to come back to this country and to build your business or do business.
Once these businesses repatriate, you have less tariffs and less tariffs and less tariffs. All of a sudden, the revenue coming in does not match what you need. Not only that, we are $35 trillion in debt and racing.
Right.
All right. Article 1, Section 8 does provide for an active military for defense of the nation. Mm-hmm. Post office, post roads. Mm-hmm. Those are the two major freaking things
which is the government's responsibility.
Right. The federal government's responsibility to the citizens of the United States is to defend them and give them a way to move about the country for commerce.
Right.
Right. You know, I argue, sidebar, I argue to people all the time in truck stops that pull into a truck stop in a four-wheeled vehicle and then complain about truck drivers that the interstate's not made for them. It's made for interstate commerce and for military to move about the country in defense of the nation.
Right.
That's what interstates were built for.
Correct.
Okay.
They weren't built for you to get to Disney World.
They weren't built for your Sunday fucking drive.
And actually, interstates were built so the military could land planes on them specifically, correct?
There are places around this country where you will see the shape of an airplane on the interstate, and that is a freaking runway. Driving down the road, you'll just see.
I've seen them.
I've seen them in Arizona, New Mexico. I've seen them
more so out west. You'll see these,
all over the plains states. I've seen them in California, Oregon, parts of Oregon. I-5 has one.
Right.
Southern I-5 in Oregon has one.
Right.
There's a place in Washington that has one. If you go back west or east, there's a
hullabaloo. I'm kidding. I'm just throwing words together.
part of I-90. When you get across the Squamish Pass, you come off the Squamish Pass, there's a place there.
I know exactly what you're talking about, actually, believe it or not.
I have been all over this country. But yeah, those are everywhere. Yeah, that's something that does exist.
Mainly because they were formed after the Autobahn in Germany. That's what... because they can land planes on them.
That's what the interstate was meant for, is for rapid deployment for defense of the nation.
Yes, sir. So they go hand in hand. Again, this is one of the reasons it's the government's responsibility to take care of these things, right?
Yes.
And you need money coming in to do that, which is taxes. However, they've been taxing us until we're dying, and then they're taxing that too.
Yeah, absolutely. And honestly, the level of taxation in this country has just gotten to an oppressive point to where it's no longer feasible for the American citizen at all, because now our taxes are going to Ukraine, they're going to USAID.gov. If you want to go there and get pissed off, go ahead. Be my guest.
Social Security.
Social Security, which is mandatory, a zero growth retirement plan that is mandatory.
It's so good they had to make it mandatory.
It's so popular as the Democrat. It's so popular. No, it's mandatory, dickheads.
It's also one tenet of socialism in and of itself. So, and it came from a socialist president. For those arguing, no, you're crazy. A socialist Democrat put that into place. That's not even a conspiracy theory or question. That's history. Right? That's a fact. This is socialism, at least an aspect of.
Honestly, I want my fucking money back.
And that's something else. We won't ever get our money back because we're promised all our life, hey, we're going to borrow this from you. We're going to store it over here in this little account, and we'll give it back to you when you get older.
Dude, if I got a lump sum for the money that I have paid in the last 30 years, I could pay the house off. I could pay both my cars off and probably live comfortably for about 6 months. With no job.
Damn. I believe that. Just on your paying from that last job you had, I believe that.
Yeah.
I wholeheartedly believe that.
Yeah. It's ridiculous, man.
Well, the ridiculous part I hadn't even got to yet. Because, again, they borrow the money from you. They say, we're going to hold on to this. We're going to put this in a little account. When you get older, it'll be there for you. Then they took that money, went to Vegas.
General fund.
And lost every fucking lick of it. Every penny. You don't have a Social Security. They've stolen and stolen and stolen and stolen from that. By the time we get old,
they're saying
it won't be there.
They're saying 2035. It's nonsense.
I won't be that age by 2035, Bubba.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean that's
I may be touching that age at that point.
That's 11 years from now. I'd be 56.
Yeah. We wouldn't even be touching it. We got another decade to go after that.
Yeah, so basically they would have stolen from me my whole working life.
And
only to give me the shaft at the last minute.
Yeah.
When I'm about to check out the door, all of a sudden, yeah, you're done.
They took it all to Vegas, put it on red, and got black.
No.
I mean, that's basically what they did. They gambled our money away in ideas and things they wanted to do.
Not only that, right now we're living with a heavily progressive income tax.
Now, this is killing me because I know a lot of you like to work let me rephrase that. Like to work overtime when you have to get that extra money, or when you can to get that little bit of extra money. However, we learned real quick that there's a little level of overtime that you can go to, right? So if I do 45 hours of overtime, this is where I just start to make a profit, because my first 3 hours in overtime have merely paid the taxes I'm going to get taxed for working that overtime.
Yeah, so basically you got screwed. You're working hours you'll never see.
Yeah. I'm working hours to give Uncle Sam more money for no reason, and this is the progressive tax, because the more I make, the more they take.
What is a progressive income tax? Where can you find a heavily progressive income tax? Now, mind you, hold on. Now, mind you, yeah, there's people that, there's 15%, and there's 22%, and there's 31%, and then there's 35 or 34%, right? Mm-hmm. The problem with that is that's fucking bullshit, because you could make millions and almost 40% of what you make goes straight back to the government. Those people making millions are the people that are employing people, that are basically
taking the risk.
They're taking the risk to run the economy. That money basically is the entrepreneur spirit being crushed.
So if I'm an entrepreneur, if I'm a guy building my own company, I'm taking the risk of putting my livelihood on the line, every penny I have on the line, probably mortgaging my house for this if I have one.
Then you have a purple-haired dipshit, that votes for Harris, that's going to tell you, you didn't earn that. You're taking that from us. Right. And they haven't done a damn thing in their life.
No, because they don't want to be one of the workers that helps earn the benefit of the company.
They don't realize the risk. They don't realize the entrepreneur that was living off of ramen while trying to make $1 million company.
They sacrificed everything they had, their life, their livelihood, their time, their money, their freedom, their effort, everything they have.
They never had to make a payroll.
No.
And worry about keeping the lights on in their business
and home.
There's people that may have not even taken a paycheck in a year just to make this dream work, and now you're telling them they didn't earn it.
Right. Some little punk comes along and say, all that sacrifice you did, everything you did to build this company, it was worthless.
The laborer that you now hire walks out on the street with a sign that says, "Fight for $20 an hour." And you're like, "No, I can't afford that, dude. Hit the bricks."
Right.
And he's like, you're discriminating against me because I have a nose ring. No, you dipshit. I'm getting you out of here because I can't afford you now because you want $20 an hour. I'm now going to put a kiosk in, or now my customers are going to order from an iPad sitting in the freaking lobby,
or automate the docking and shipping systems.
Oh God, yeah. Uh-huh.
I mean, we've seen this over and over and over and over. If you want more money, fine. We'll gladly do that. Bring in the robots.
Yep.
I mean, we're seeing it over and over and over. Then what are people doing? Scrambling to find jobs, unemployment rate through the roof.
Yep.
All because you wanted more money. You thought the world owed you more money.
Now, I had this argument with Bill Freeman, who was running for mayor of Nashville, and, he didn't like me one bit when I said, "Yeah, you're fighting for this $15 an hour minimum wage," when the businesses that already did this out west had to shut their doors.
Mom and pops are gone in some areas.
Yeah.
If there's a $20 minimum wage in California, you will not find anything but corporate businesses there, because they're the only ones that can stand to survive that kind of pressure.
With the volume, yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Your Walmarts would do great. Amazon does great. Kmart will do great, or whatever marts they have nowadays. I'm not even sure Kmart's really a thing anymore, but whatever marts there are.
Old motherfucker.
Hey, I can't deny it. I've got a lot of years on me, a lot of wisdom.
We're the same age. No, actually, I'm older than you.
You are old, motherfucker.
By like a year.
Calling me old. I'm the young one.
Now, the thing about this is honestly, I want what's called a flat tax. And, you got Article 1, Section 8, which outlies, I've told you, Article 1, Section 8. The military. Well,
we went through a whole episode of it, yeah.
Absolutely. So, the military and post roads. Mm-hmm. The big ones.
Right.
Okay. Now, if we had a 5 to 10% flat tax across the board.
Now, is this tax on money I have earned?
Earned.
How about when I go to spend it?
No.
How about when I die?
No.
How about when I invest it?
No.
How about when I use it in any other form?
No.
There we go. To earn it.
You've already paid it. Now, wheel taxes go to state roads. When you get your license plate.
Right.
Non-driving mofo. Yeah, when you get your license plate, wheel taxes should go to your local roads. That shit's ridiculous, too. You know how expensive that is?
Oh, it's insane.
Here it's like $80-something per license plate. That's for a four-wheeled vehicle.
Right.
Did you know that in some states around the nation, registering one semi-truck, and there's companies that have to register 180, like my company.
Right.
One semi-truck could be almost $2,000 a year to register.
Holy cow.
$2,000 a year to register one semi-truck.
Can you say ripoff? That's insane. That's a lot of money per vehicle.
Now, where is that freaking money going? Now, yeah, there's parts of Kentucky that are doing wonderful stuff for the roads.
About time they had their own song.
I-65 was a nightmare. No, it's not like that anymore. It doesn't go cha-ching, 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 cha-ching.
It had its own tempo and everything. Like the Kentucky song was interesting.
All the way, yeah, that was the Kentucky song. It's kerclunk, 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 kerclunk. No, now there are parts of Kentucky on I-65 that they just fixed that you could lose a car in. Okay, I mean it was bad.
Holy cow! There were some spots.
Now they're fixing that stuff, and it's awesome now. I mean it's nice and smooth in a lot of places and looks really cool. Mm-hmm. So I mean they're doing their part.
Right.
There's parts of Tennessee right now that are doing their part, but that's the state.
So we just seen, as a matter of fact, this road in front of the studio. We used to be really bad until last month or two. They've actually come through and fixed this road
up there where I'm at, coming off of my road.
Right,
is that way. They just did a big reconstruction because what they're fixing to do is they're fixing to all of Clarksville Highway. They're going to make that 4 lanes. Or maybe even 6 in spots. It's already 6 in spots once you get down south of Briley Parkway.
Right.
Yeah, but I'm out in the country.
You're out there.
But they're going to make that. They're going to make that 2 lanes with a suicide lane.
Holy cow!
Yeah, and actually, where I dropped my trailer for my semi truck, the property owner there gave me permission to park there for the next year and a half because what they said they were going to do is that guy that bought that property cannot develop that property and put a business there until they make the road double with the suicide lane because they're going to take a bunch of it.
Oh, they're going to take his land.
Yep.
Eminent domain.
They're going to take a portion of it, yeah. Because there's a sidewalk on the other side.
Right.
So they can't use that. They got to use the other side. So they're gonna fuck this guy out of about I would say 20, well, not even 20 feet. I would say 18 feet of property.
And they'll never give him what it's worth.
No, they're not.
Not nowhere near it. They may give him a little a McDonald's dinner or something. But maybe they can hook up with McDonald's and make a deal with them.
They were saying they're saying he's going to put some kind of convenience store or something there, or it was going to be some kind of store now at a gas station or whatever. But it's supposed to be a big development.
Right.
For that corner, and actually, it's going to probably bring a little business to us, and that'd be nice. But
it would be good.
We don't want our part of our part of the world to grow. We want it to stay country.
Quit cityfying my country, right?
Dude, the mayor of Nashville's pissed at us because our city council has told him to pound sand every freaking time, and I love it.
Really?
Yes. And now we're fixing to vote somebody in that's the same way. Actually, two people, because there's two seats open.
Oh, and nice.
Yeah, they're the same.
Are you going to run?
Like, oh,
are you going to run? You need to run, man.
Oh, man. You
need to do it.
I've been thinking about running for political office in that capacity for a while, but it doesn't pay enough to be able to do it, and
that's the point.
Yeah, that's it. I would still have to hold a job somewhere else, and still do something, but still be close enough.
And isn't that the way it was set up to be?
Yes.
That's the way it's supposed to be. You volunteer your time and your effort for the state for a certain amount of time because of your love of country.
Yes.
Not your love of money.
Yeah.
I'll never, well, I do understand, but I'll never, how can you not look at Pelosi, at Schumer, at any of them?
I do understand.
That come in with this little amount of money and come out over here.
The money is what bars someone like me from the poor truck driver that's being fucked by my government from getting in there and doing anything because we don't have it.
Classism.
We're not there. That's why the elite have taken over this and then given themselves the raises they've given themselves.
That's another thing that should go into an article. They need to make minimum wage. Whatever minimum wage is set at, that's what they need to make.
Yeah, you have so many people in government right now that are completely worthless. They have no skills other than running their damn mouth about stupid shit they're ignorant about.
AOC?
I mean, what about, who was that? Who was that guy that one guy that was like, he was trying to fight against guns and he was like, it's a 30 caliber clip and it shoots 100 rounds in a second. And I'm like, what? He was holding an AR-15. He's like, 30 caliber clip.
Have you seen that meme where it's just constantly people face palming?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that. Okay, that.
Bruh.
Are you stupid? Well, you must be a Democrat then. Yes. that would explain everything. But yeah, these people that have been in there for a lifetime, they got no business being in there for a lifetime.
It isn't supposed to be a freaking career. It's supposed to be, get in there, do your time, and get the heck out.
So do you think we should start advocating more as a community in general?
Term limits.
For a convention of states, I was going to say.
Yes.
Because there is one set up right now that they're trying to get people backing them so hard. And I've been involved with them myself off and on for a little while now. It isn't something I'm heavily involved with. As you know, I've got a lot going on in my world.
Oh, yeah.
By the way, guys,
especially this time of year.
Especially this time of year. International Mandela Effect Conference coming up Sunday, or will be the end of it Sunday, November 10th, where we won't have a show that day.
Hey, you want to know something really awesome?
What's that?
That Monday's my birthday.
11/11 sure is. Mm-hmm. Sure is. That's right. Born on 11/11. 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th will be at the Hilton Garden Inn in Mount Juliet, Tennessee.
Yep.
If you want to come by and meet and greet myself and CD Spivey, we will be there. We're going to be there for the International Mandela Effect Conference, actually, so this isn't going to be like an official sanctioned censored freedom event.
No, this won't be censored freedom. I'm just their security guard.
But if you're interested in the Mandela Effect, if you know what that is, check out the International Mandela Effect Conference, imec.world. That is a project that I'm very deeply, heavily invested in. So it's something that I actually am the founder, one of the founders and father of. My official title is Father of IMEC. Because we founded it together, I refuse to accept a singular title.
IMEC.
So they voted me father.
I am your father.
I make your father. If you know, you know. Quit sounding like Klaus over there. I'm Jerry Hicks, also known as the Dark Wolf.
I'm CD Spider.
And this has been Censored Freedom.
Come follow, comment, like, all that good stuff. Bless y'all. Love you.
What he said. Bye, guys.
Hakuna Matata, bitches.